What if the Garif had accepted the gift of the Occuria? We all know the story of Final Fantasy XII, a tale of war, politics, and powerful crystals known as Nethicite. At the heart of it lies a struggle between the empires of Arcadia and the Resistance, as the mysterious power of Nethicite becomes the key to reshaping the fate of Ivalice. But this story actually begins much earlier, with the Dynast King Wraithwall, the man who united Ivalice under one banner. A feat made possible not through charisma or military might alone, but by accepting the power of the gods themselves, the Occuria, who bestowed upon him Nethicite extracted from the legendary Sun Crest. But what if Wraithwall wasn't the only one who received that offer? What if another people, wise, powerful, and deeply connected to magic, had chosen a different path? What if the Garif had accepted the gift of the Occuria? In this video, we are going to explore the hidden lore behind the Garif and the Occuria and take a look at an alternate history. One where the Garif embraced the power of Nethicite. How would Ivalice have changed? Would peace have followed, or would something darker take root? Let's dive in. This theory stems from one of the more overlooked aspects of Final Fantasy XII's lore. While much of the story focuses on the Humes, Arcadia, and Rosaria, the Garif, a proud nomadic tribe deeply attuned to magicite, play a quiet but crucial role. When our heroes first acquire Nethicite, it is Fran who suggests taking it to the Garif. Why? Because the Garif are uniquely capable of sensing, identifying, and understanding these ancient stones. Despite not seeking power themselves, they hold deep knowledge of Nethicite, and even a healthy fear of it. This fear wasn't baseless. Long ago, before the Occuria offered Nethicite to Wraithwall and the Humes, they had approached the Garif first. It makes sense. The Garif are spiritually attuned, magically inclined, and don't lust after war or domination like many of the Humes do. But the Garif, in their wisdom, refused the gift. They understood that such power, even if well-intentioned, would only lead to chaos. Thus, the Occuria took it away from them, had given it to the Humes instead. But what if they hadn't? Let's imagine a version of history where the Garif accepted the Occuria's offer and mastered the Nethicite. Given their physical strength and magical affinity, the Garif could have become the dominant force in Ivalice, a society not built on technology and empire, but raw power merged with nature. Their warriors, enhanced by Nethicite, might have been near unstoppable, overwhelming even the combined might of the Humes and the Viera. Unlike the Humes, the Garif wouldn't rely on airships or magic, but instead, they have developed ways to merge Nethicite with their own bodies, similar to how Vayne Novus fused himself with manufactured Nethicite during the final battle of the game. But with the Garif's natural strength, the effects would be even more profound. In this world, the Humes' technological advancements would stagnate. Their constant infighting would leave them fractured and vulnerable. The Viera, isolated in the Celica Wood, might survive, but they would remain distant observers. The Garif, now empowered by divine Nethicite, would enforce a new world order, not through politics or alliances, but through overwhelming strength and spiritual dominance. And perhaps, in their eyes, it would be a better world. No endless wars, no greedy empires, just a vision of the Garif, shaped by strength, balance, and a cautious reverence for power. But power, as we had known and seen, always has a price. Now, let's ask the big question. If the Garif had taken the Nethicite, would they have been able to keep it? The Occuria are not generous gods. They are manipulators of fate, bending history to their will. If the Garif's dominance ever strayed from the Occuria's vision, the gods would have simply intervened. And we've seen how that ends. The Scions of Darkness once tried to rebel against the Occuria. They had lost. Now they exist only as espers, enslaved echoes of their former selves. Even with Nethicite in their hands, the Garif would ultimately face the same fate, or worse. This theory had reminded me of something from a completely different universe, The Lord of the Rings. Some of you may have known and seen this theory around. What if Gandalf had taken the One Ring? Gandalf, like the Garif, is wise, powerful, and deeply attuned to the mystical forces of his world. He knows the ring would grant him immense power, even enough to destroy Sauron, but he also knows that this would corrupt him. He's defeated evil, but become a tyrant in the process, a ruler by necessity, not choice.
Is this your idea of vengeance?
It is my idea of necessity.
Much like Gandalf, the Garif understood that true power doesn't lie in wielding a weapon, but in knowing when not to do so. So, what if the Garif had taken the gift of the Occuria? Would they have built a peaceful, controlled ivalice? Or would their strength, no matter how well-intentioned, have become another chain in the Occuria's plan? In the end, it doesn't matter, because they chose not to. That single choice defined their legacy, not one of conquest, but of quiet strength and inner peace. They knew that power corrupts, and that some gifts are better left unclaimed. In a game filled with empires, ambitions, and gods pulling the strings, the Garif remind us of a simple truth. Sometimes, the greatest power is in walking away. This was a fascinating theory to explore, and I hope you found it as interesting as I did. It's not often that we get to shine a light on the quieter corners of Final Fantasy XII's lore, but the Garif deserve it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more Final Fantasy XII content. It's a game that doesn't get enough love, and I'd love to keep these discussions going with fellow fans. Until next time, this is Enzo signing out, and I'll see you all in the next video.